The fact is that soulmates are illusions. And some of you are going to do this now and say, no, you can't say that. I spent my whole life hoping for a soulmate. I want to explain why it's an illusion and what to do about it. I'm going to talk a little bit about the power of energy itself and how to use that to create amazing partnerships. And I'm also going to talk about sex magic. And again, some of you are going to do that. Oh no, he's mentioned the word sex, that's taboo. I really don't care. I've used sex magic as a tool to enhance the conditions of my life whereby I become open to the materialization of my dreams. Because I've realized that people don't talk about sex magic. I thought it was common. I thought people commonly talked about it. I thought people practiced it, and I've realized now that it's actually more rare than it ought to be. And so it's such a powerful tool and technique in order to achieve your intentions that I need to start talking about it. So if this is of interest to you, hit the subscribe button, press the like button, hit the bell to get notified when my next video goes live, and then you can learn these techniques for yourself too. I often get asked, how can I find my soulmate? And the reason that I get asked is that the people asking have observed my relationships and have seen my first relationship with Lynn, 40 years in the making. We never argued. We often disagreed but never argued. We were incredibly happy. We had an amazing sex life. Could never keep our hands off each other. I know, too much information, but I want to explain why I get asked this. And then people would see that and say, that's incredible, you're together 40 years. I want that. I want my soulmate. So what they've done is they've identified my relationship as a soulmate. So let me very quickly go back to the illusion of soulmates. Don't get depressed about that. This is good news. The word soulmate was made up. It was used in a poem by Samuel Taylor Coleridge in 1822. Before that, the term never existed. It's not based on any science. It's not based on any belief system. There is no one soulmate. He used this beautiful word in a poem. And all I have to do is use his name, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, and I come out in a cold sweat, because as a 12 or 13-year-old, I had to learn all 48 verses of The Ancient Mariner, which is one of his famous poems. Oh, and I didn't enjoy it at all. Water, water everywhere, and all the boards did shrink. Water, water everywhere, nor any drop to drink, is the only verse that I remember today. But it was such a torturous process, and he's tortured hundreds of thousands of English school children with that poem, that I still remember it. But he wrote another poem, and in this other poem, it was a romantic poem, and he wrote it for somebody who he was trying to attract, and he used the word soulmate. And it was at a time when England as a culture was going through this romantic period. And it resonated, and so people started to use the word soulmate in everyday language, and that's all it is. It's made up. There's no such thing. And yet, I'll go on the internet and I can find all these websites that teach how to find your soulmate. There's no such thing. It's an illusion. It was a word in a poem. And the problem with it is that it gives the illusion to people that there's just one. That there's just one perfect person for everybody, and that's not true at all. I'll give you a personal example. So after Lynn died, for me it felt like swimming underwater for a long period of time as I went through that grieving process. And during that sort of 15-month period, the prospect of holding someone else's hand was impossible to me. The thought of kissing somebody is crazy. I'd been with someone for 40 years. I couldn't imagine being that happy ever again, because I think I had also fallen for the illusion of the soulmate. Maybe I started to believe that I'd had my soulmate. But then I came up for air, and I realized that I have this amazing life ahead, incredible experiences. I have other companies I want to build. I have other things I want to do. I don't want to do it alone. So I made a commitment, and it took me several days to do this commitment ritual correctly. And through that commitment ritual, I decided I would like to attract to myself a partner that inspires me to be the best version of myself. Someone I can learn new things from, someone I can teach things to, someone who will laugh at my jokes, someone who likes to cook like I do, someone who loves nature like I do. And so I put it all together in an intention, and I made a commitment to it. And if you want to know how to do that, you simply go to trevorgblake.com and sign up for the transformation experience. All the tools and techniques are in there. And so once making the commitment, there's only one thing that can happen, because I'm a scientist, I'm a physicist. I have degrees in radiation physics and nuclear medicine, and that makes me a perpetual student of quantum physics. And I know through the way energy works, through quantum physics, that once I make that commitment, once I set into the universe my imagination of the perfect person I'm looking for, There's only one thing that can happen, and that person turns up. It took 3 weeks. 3 weeks later, Jess turns up in my life and inspires me to be the best version of myself. Jess is teaching me all kinds of new things. She's teaching me art. She's a very successful artist. We love to cook together. We love nature. We love to travel. Travel and food are our porn. And it feels fantastic. And so I'm living proof that there's not just one person for everybody. It's not just one soulmate. There are many, many soulmates. And the secret is to play with energy in a particular way to create the conditions whereby your perfect partnerships can turn up. And I don't just mean your perfect sexual partner or your perfect domestic partner, but your perfect business partners, your perfect art partners, your perfect writing partners, whatever you're into. The partnerships that you need in order to be the best version of yourself in that will show up when you learn how to play with energy in a particular way. You can learn all of this through the transformation experience, but in a little while I'm going to be doing a 2-day webinar on one of the tools that's in the transformation experience, and it's called Sex Magick. And a lot of people will do this again because I've used the word sex, and we often live in societies where talking about sex is taboo in some way. I just don't understand that, because everything in the universe is energy, and sex is a very beautiful reflection of energy. And if you learn how to play with that energy in a specific way, and I'm talking now about the energy of sex, if you learn how to enhance that energy and change its frequency, you can create the conditions whereby you can do certain things that enhance and speed up the materialization of your dreams. And I thought everybody knew this, and I thought people were talking about it, and I found out in the last couple of years that actually not many people talk about this or do this at all. So I've been teaching it in the transformation experience, and the results, people have been practicing and learning, and it's so much fun, of course, because it's sex. And it doesn't matter whether you're on your own or you're with a partner or you're with several partners, the tools and techniques work the same way. And magic shows up. And that's a beautiful thing, and that's what I want to talk about. So I'm doing a 2-day webinar to talk about sex magic and intentions. It's based on scientific principles, and for me, decades of research and practice, which is the most fun part of it. So sign up for that. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button, and I'll see you at the webinar.